Hey guys, it's Chris, and I'm back here with my last of the 5 chords on CAGED theory. Definitely not done with CAGED theory after this. I may do another couple of videos immediately after, or I may touch base on it down the road. I haven't really decided what direction I want to go in with the videos just yet after this, so stay tuned for that and see what's coming up next. So just to get into our last chord here on CAGED theory, we're going to talk about the D chord, the open D chord, and it's played like this. Now you notice I'm playing only 4 strings here. I'm leaving out these 2 guys up here. And I'm just playing these top 4 strings here. My D, G, B, and E. And that's what that chord sounds like right there. And again, this is your open D chord. So you can check that out by going, okay, I'm going to start on my open D string, which is why it's the open chord. And that plays out cleanly. Then I'm going to go down to my G string, which I have pressed down on my 2nd fret. G is pressed down on your 2nd fret. And then your B string is pressed down on your 3rd fret. And then your high E is pressed down on your 2nd fret. So that's how those 4 notes should ring out, and you should be able to check that out against individual strikes. Once you've confirmed you're getting a nice clean sound out of that, go ahead and strum all of it. And then strum into a pattern, you know, count it off with your foot, however you want to do it. So once you've got that familiar feeling going there and you can play that chord, it's important to know we're going to do what? Bar the chord, because we want to do what? Move it around the neck. And that's kind of what I've been getting at here, because you want to be able to do more than just play a couple open chords. You want to be able to move these up and down the neck and do something different with your songs. So as far as we're going here, if I want to move this up a fret, you'll notice it doesn't sound right at all. Again, the reason it doesn't sound right at all is because we are not barring that open string. There's only one open string here, which makes it really nice, and that would be your D string right here. So when you're down here playing this open D chord, if I move it up, I need to bar that open D, and that open D becomes a D sharp. So right here, stretching that pinky way out there, and it's tough. That pinky's got to get way out there. It is tough. But once you stretch it out there, check it again, and then strum it out. So we're able to play that now, and it became a D sharp, as I've said. And if we move it up again, right here, that chord right there is now a barred D chord, but even though the shape hasn't changed, its position on the neck has, and it becomes an E chord. So if you want to check that, you can go ahead and play this again. It's just up an octave, and you can play that again. So if you notice right now, there's a hell of a pattern going on here, and that pattern tends to be the consistency of barring chords, open chords, positions, and shapes. So when we're playing this D chord here in the open position, we're playing that open chord that I've been hammering on you for. And then when we move it, I close up that open chord by barring. Now in this particular case, I'm not actually barring with the D chord, I'm just pressing down on the one note. But it's still called barring because you're closing up that open note. And that's essentially what barring is, closing up the open note and moving it with the shape that you're moving along the neck. So it's important to know that when you're pressing down here, you're up a fret from where your open chord is, you got to close up that open string. up again. And you move up again. And it's going to get easier and easier to move that particular pattern up the neck because the frets are going to start to get smaller and they're going to be closer together. So if you got small hands like I do, it's a little difficult to do it way down here. Still possible. You know, I recommend getting some kind of, you know, weighted system that you can put in your hand and kind of play with your fingers up and down to create some muscle some muscle strength. You know, and practice doing the dexterity lessons that I've already showed you to. It's going to help you warm your hand up, and it's good to just get used to stretching too. So stretch out as far as you can through different practices. So like I've been doing before in my dexterity lessons, and then get to move backwards. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to be able to practice spacing it out farther. So, and then come over here. And really all we're doing is just playing a couple little things here and there. The point isn't what we're playing, it's just that we're playing and stretching our muscles out there. So when you're playing that, it's going to be able to help you out because your muscles will stretch out, your tendons will stretch out, and you'll be able to play something like this a lot easier. So in doing that, we're now practicing on our open chord here, our open D. And we're going to practice barring it. And again, it'll be nice to actually go ahead and check what you're barring against the open chord. So if I wanted to move this D shape up to the E, as we were talking about before, D goes to E here. So this guy right here. That's our E chord, but it's barred, and it's barred in the shape of D. And I just check that against the open E chord. So that's what you want to do for this lesson, is the same with the other ones. I want you to get used to playing that open D chord that you got to play. Get used to barring that chord as well. Take the lowest bass note that you're playing and learn what chord you're actually playing in that shape, and then reference it against the open chord that it resembles. That way you can verify that you are correctly playing the proper chord in its barred position. Whew, that's a lot. So, you know, if you need to stop the video, take a break, get used to taking this into sections. I throw a lot of stuff at you, and that's because there's a lot to cover. You know, so I want you to just go ahead and take care of getting an open D chord played. And then get used to barring that guy, so we'll bring it up to the open E, or sorry, the bar chord of D. And then get used to playing that with its open chord reference, so you know you're playing the correct bar chord. And then additionally, as we've been doing before, you have 4 other chords you've learned, and now a 5th. Check that against some other chords. Confirm that you can actually move comfortably between the open chord changes. So we'll go from G to D, and then I'll go from G to D to A. So now in this, there is one interesting thing that you could learn out of this lesson here, and I'm going to teach you a simple few chords from a song called Back in Black by AC/DC, and those chords start with an open E, it goes to a D, and then it goes to an open A. So it goes like this. Now if you want, you could still play those chords using other things we've already learned in our lessons. You could play that with, there we go. You could play that with power chords, which we've already learned too, by finding out what chord you're playing on. This one right here. This one down here. And then drop down the strings. So I'm playing. Hey, you know, I'm not perfect. So after you've done that, another thing you can do is you could be playing your C chord and we moved it up and barred it. So now we're playing our G. Bring it down to the A, or sorry, D. Bring it up to D. So as you noticed, using the bar chord of the C shape, I was able to play that song right there, those three chords. I was able to play it with power, using the open chords, and then I was able to use my C chord in my C bar chord, and I was able to bar it to a different chord and move it around the neck using that one shape and still get that song played, though it definitely sounds different because it's bar chords instead of playing it with the open chords it was originally written with. So that's the neat thing that you can do with this. If you wanted, someone could be playing the main riff and then someone else could be going, you know, and then again, if you wanted to, you could be playing the, you know, barred chord of C here. Someone could just be strumming going. And additionally, if you wanted to, you could just separate it out like I was doing. So all I did was I was playing the main important notes of those three chords in the C barred shape, but I wasn't actually playing the entire barred chord in the C shape. Wow, that's a lot of terminology. And I think that's going to blow your mind, so I think we're just going to go ahead and keep it at that for now. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Like the Facebook page, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep these lessons going. If you have anything in particular you feel I didn't cover properly, if I'm throwing too much material at you and you just need me to focus on something a little more, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. And additionally, if you like, I also have in-person lessons too. If you check out my Facebook page, I have a little article that I wrote up and a little banner for it. So you can check that out and give me a call if you'd like to set up something in person, if you need something a little more personal. I think that's about it for this. You know, I may be going into a little more detail on the CAGED theory next week. I'll make that decision in the coming days. If not, we're going to be on to a nice new lesson. Keep watching, and thanks for checking me out. Take care.